Hello, Team Absolution fans far and wide. It is that time for another Team Absolution video, bringing you a zero discussion for the ages. But before, I want to remind you to take a look at our damage check from this last weekend, where we talked about Alter Ego, Messiah, The Goodness, and MLB. Just because that's a really good video, and I really enjoyed doing it. So go check it out. That being said, today, Keith, what are we talking about?
Today, we're going to talk about our favorite football-y boys, the Spike Brothers, and how they're doing in Vanguard 0. We got a clan event up right now. It's ending pretty shortly now, I think, actually, maybe in 3 or 4 days.
Yes. Yeah, 3 days. It ends on the 14th. And look, NFL might be over, but Blood Ball continues.
Yes.
So let's talk about it. First things first, caveat to start off. This event is, it's not a terrible event. It's just like the Goki one. But for some reason, at least from the anecdotal evidence of everyone that we talked to, Keith, myself, Matt, Braxton, I'm even talk to Nate, like, it's not a good time.
Yeah. I don't know if it's
been terrible.
Yeah. No one has gotten anything good. I've seen people do well, but the people that have done well in this have had to funnel into this one to try to get it to do well.
So pumps gems into stamina and stuff like that for the reload. Yeah. We'll round about at the end if it's worth it to do that. But just know you're in for a long ride. For some reason, in my opinion, the Gauki event for Grand Blue was easier.
Oh yeah, much easier. I'm speaking anecdotally here, but that event came up very early on in the game starting. It was only like a week in or something like that we got that event. And I got absolutely everything by the end of that event, plus SPs of things. Right. I am sitting at 2 triple Rs.
In total. And we got 3 days left.
Yeah, that's right. As a comparison.
So let's talk about good old Spike Bros. Now, Spike Bros at this time of the game will be better later when we get into Limit Break and they get their boy, Dudley. Until then, you'll see.
Yeah, they're a solid choice, I will say. They're not, you're not going to be disappointed with them. If you have everything, but you really need to have everything again for something like this to work.
Right. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can. There we go.
Perfect. All right, so let's get started with the grade zeros. You got this one. You're not going to care about this one. This is your grade 3 searcher. We're not here for grade 3 searchers in this clan. We're here for one thing and one thing only, and it's Conroe. The only other clan with a legit Conroe clone, Mecha Trainer, the coach of the team, baby.
Yeah, that's right. It's everything that we said about Conroe applies 100% here. It is one of the best starters you can run in the game. So run it.
So yeah, there's no excuse to not play Conroe. He's oddly enough he's not a triple R, even though he has the exact same skill.
Yeah, that's right. Whatever stylistic choices Bushi decided to make on that.
So that's that for grade zeros. Play Mecha Trainer. Don't play anything else. There's literally no reason to play anything else.
Yeah.
Because you get these for free anyways. So, it's no excuse. That being said, moving on, let's talk to grade 1s real quick. So, your PG, you're obviously going to play her. You're going to play her for, you get 2 of them through the event. If you're like me, you'll pull 7 more. So, you're fine. The other one, Dudley Dan, is the other double R. When this unit boosts a Vanguard, counterblast 2, put a card from your hand into soul, call any card from your deck to an empty rear guard. This is a good card. You're going to want to play this.
Yeah. He's definitely pricey. His effect is pretty pricey. I don't think you're using counterblast for a whole lot else in Spikes, at least as of right now. This guy's going to get phased out, I'm pretty sure, pretty quickly, beyond just being a target for jelly beans in the future. But he's actually pretty good and a good extender of combos in this deck. Once you start to see that units can disappear in this deck.
Yeah, Spike Bros is pretty a combo deck. It's a one-ball combo kind of thing. And so Dudley Dan can kind of get you there. And his 4K power is weak, but his skill's pretty good. And he's a double R, so you're going to want to pull him in the event as well.
Yeah.
Outside of that, let's talk other units. I like Reckless Express. Is another good card in my opinion.
Yeah, there's kind of like a sequence with Reckless Express where there's multiple cards with this effect in the clan.
Right.
Where basically on the rear guard, you Soul Blast one, he gets a plus 5k, and if you activate the ability, toss him to the bottom of the deck when he does that.
It's like he's been passed the ball, ran a little bit, then passes the ball, someone else gets back in the huddle.
Yeah, exactly right.
So I like this card. I recommend playing it. I'm currently playing it. This is just a build I built just to get the you built the Spike Brothers thing. So,
yeah, that's right. Get the banner and whatnot.
Yeah. So like in this point, I didn't even have four 8Ks when I did it. So let's drop. I guess drop one of these. So you got your vanilla AK Wonder Boy, nice and running Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
He's your AK. I play him. I don't know, Keith, if you would recommend it, but I do.
Yeah, he's solid enough as well.
Then you got your generic. A lot of these are going to be generics.
Yeah.
Anything else that really speaks to you?
The Assault Squad unit, the one you just highlighted before Gary Gannon. I have seen people run him.
Yeah, I've also seen him.
Just because it's pretty solid with the attacks that you're making in this deck. And, if you're replacing units, it just keeps giving you perpetual boosts so that you're constantly, you're always staying ahead of the plus 5k from getting the damage checks on your opponent.
Absolutely. No, yeah, I'm about it. I am about it. So that covers really the grade ones of importance. Aside from these, I mean, Gary Gannon ain't too bad. He's your Airmo. Aside from that, a lot of clones, especially with these first couple of event scenarios are going to happen. We're going to see a lot of clones because we talked about this in one of our previous videos. Shadows, I think it was, where it's just like at the beginning of Vanguard, a lot of these are just dupes of other things that other clans had. So let's move on to grade 2s. We'll start with Bracky. He is a Reckless Express clone.
Yeah, exactly right.
You play him because he can do that for you.
Yeah, he's a 9k, so now he goes to 14. So he also will hit cross rides unboosted, which is kind of nice.
That is kind of nice. If they're a first attack. This is definitely, especially with damage shields, you have to consider your order of attack is very important with this deck, given the way these 5Ks work and all that kind of jazz. So be careful, or not be careful, but like I play Bracky. Spike Bouncer, I missed the V-Series art already.
I know, this one is not quite as good. It's very dynamic, at least, but...
Yeah, it's just so cartoony. It's also cartoony.
Yeah, it really is.
In this, for some reason. When your other unit attack hits, this gets 3k until the end of battle. What are your thoughts here? I like him.
He's actually fairly good. I was kind of unimpressed at the beginning, but like when other things start hitting, he starts to really get powerful really fast. So
he does start to really go off when things start to join him as well. So I definitely don't have any qualms with using him. I don't run him right now as a 4. I think I run him as a 2 of. But yeah. He's fun. You also have good old Transriser clone. You're getting weird clones, but you got a Transriser clone. 7k, basically if it's a grade 2 or less, call it. If not, shuffle back in the deck. I like this card too.
Oh yeah, it is. It's just free stuff. If you get them, it's free stuff.
Yeah. The same reason you run Transrise, the same reason you run this. Worst case scenario, you just called something they have to kill. Best case scenario, you'll chain these into better things. Yeah. And then in the middle, you'll just get a grade 1 or grade 2 or something. Treasure Black Panther is your 10k. His art's cool. Use him.
Yeah, that's right. 10Ks are good.
10Ks are good. And there's nothing else, I think, in the grade 2 slot that I'm thinking of, is there?
Well, there's Zachary. He's also an open your rear guard slot.
All right, when this unit attacks, hits a Vanguard, so let's want to draw a card, put it back. Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's good to draw cards.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
It really depends on what you want to do. If you want to draw cards, this guy's your boy. If you want to hit power, you're going to need Bracky. Or you can run them both. But those are your options.
Yeah, looks good to me.
Moving on to grade 3. All right. Talk about the one I don't have, sadly.
Yeah.
Juggernaut Maximum. Give me Juggernaut Maximum, Keith. What are your thoughts here?
So once again, it is Reckless Express or Bracky. He's on 11k But what's fantastic about this one is because he is grade 3, you make him your heal right now. And he goes back to the deck. He is a recurring heal trigger, which is fantastic. We already know how good it is with Gancelot. Yeah, there you go. So this is, again, just fantastic to be able to use.
Right. Now, the one thing about it, it's good that he goes back in the deck. Just remember that to really fully get the benefit out of it, you're going to need to shuffle it. You're going to want to shuffle the deck. Because the heal at the bottom is only going to do you so good. Mm-hmm. But it is a recurring heal, so it is good in that nature. And then, yeah. So, definitely not bad. Plus, he's going to chain really well with, sorry, ignore that for a second. He's going to chain really well with other things, with the other grade 3 boss that we got coming up. So, I like his art, actually, but I still kind of like his V-Series art better. We got General Seafried, Keith.
Yeah.
Give me your analysis on this boy.
Seafried, he's going to get phased out when we get Dudley Emperor. For right now, he's actually a fairly decent boss. I think his grade 3 check is a bit weaker and more combo reliant than stuff like Azura Kaiser. Because you have to have the open rearguard circle, you need to be doing something like Bracky or Reckless or one of those other effects to be able to get him off. But he's still fairly solid, and when he is boosted, he gets plus 3k, so even with something as small as Dudley Dan, he is going to be hitting 17k, which is nice.
Right, and with any other unit, he could start hitting, 20, which is a good number to hit in a lot of situations. He is a 10k, though. He is not 11k, which is sad. I agree. It's inconsistent as Azura Kaiser, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. You have to have the combos ready to go to fully see this card's power. But if you do get the combo ready to go and you do get this to go off, you're in for a fun time.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if you top tech 2 jugs off this, you put the 2 juggernauts at the top, and then you use them to soul blast to get the 5k. And if you got to restand the back row dudes, you're hitting some big lines.
Yeah, it does. It gets pretty hefty, I gotta say.
So next card I want to talk about here is Skydiver. When this unit attack hits the Vanguard, you can put in the soul to call a card from your hand. There's another pretty good combo card as well. Another good way to, if you have this in the front row, there are ways to combo this into another attack if you can really do it. And I think that's really useful as well.
Yeah, he's a really great card for when your opponent is at 4. And you can just poke and still have 3 attacks left. Because you'll call something and then have a booster in front of it. So he's actually pretty mean as far as things go, but he does need a little bit of extension and a little bit of kind of foresight to be able to use him.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And then aside from that, all we got is this guy, which is the Mega Blast. So
yeah,
something Mega Blast.
Yeah.
So that leads us to, and that's really everything in the clan right now. It's not much, a lot of clones, a lot of dupes, some interesting things to talk about, a very combo-centric deck. I never played this version of Spike Brothers. I have very, very little knowledge of this Spike Brothers, just because I wasn't playing at the game when this was around. By the time I started playing the game, we had already had Dudley Emperor, so with Limit Break. To me, what trigger lineup are you thinking with this? Draws? Are we thinking crits?
I'm thinking draws heals for this initially, just because you need a lot of pieces to set this up, and you're sending a lot of dudes back is the thing.
Right.
So I'm thinking just draws heals. I do wish you had some room for some amount of offensive triggers, but I don't know if you actually can do it.
So, yeah, because I don't think stands are the right play, just because they go against the combo.
Yeah, that's right. It would have to be crits if it was an offensive trigger. But I don't know if you have room to run those, is the thing.
I would also have to agree on that. That being said, if I build it, I'll play it. But given the way the event's going, unless I pump it, is the deck worth building? Is the deck fun to play? From the people I played in the ladder that have it, it seems kind of interesting. I've won those games, but it seems kind of interesting. So if you get it through the event, because there's no reason to not grind the event, right, Keith?
Yeah, that's right.
There's no disincentive.
Yeah.
But the question is, in my opinion, is this deck worth pumping your gems in to refill your stamina halfway through May when we've got a lot of
The double crafting.
the double crafting coming up, and we've got a big set coming out in June? Do I think that this one is? Let me go ahead and stop sharing here. Enjoy my my wallpaper. So, is the deck worth building, like putting active energy? If you're a Spike Brothers fan, by all means. It's gonna be a no for me though.
Yeah, right now I think unless you are a diehard Spikes fan, I would not really bother with it because it seems, one, the rates aren't the best in the world. So you probably will have to, unless you're very lucky. Some people are just lucky and they'll get it. I've seen some people open like 3 Juggernauts in a single pack. And I'm like, well, I guess you're running Spikes. But for the rest of us mere mortals, you're going to have to just rely on waiting, I think. And the one good thing about this is that if you want to play the deck in the future when it's better than it is currently, picking up the Juggernauts is like the only major thing you really have to do right now. So,
Absolutely
if you manage to pull the Juggernauts, then you can just kind of sit there with them. Because they're the most important piece. Seafried will probably get phased out because come the next set, Spikes will have 2 returning triggers to the deck, which is pretty powerful.
Yeah, that's the next step I was going to go into, and I'm glad you got there, is that, like, do I think it's worth pumping into wasting gems to build the deck? No. Do I think it's still worth your time and investment to get those 4 Juggernauts, and even the 4 PGs if you need them? Get the 4 PGs, get the 4 Juggernauts, call it a good day's work, wait till the next event, get your wait for Dudley Emperor because that deck's pretty good, and build that as well, because that it's looking like that's going to be another event, right?
Yeah.
The same thing with Grand Blue. We're going to get another event that releases its combo, its grade 3s. Now, granted, that's a whole other discussion about whether or not that stuff's still going to be super helpful, but just like you needed Ruin Shades and you probably needed Night Mists for Grand Blue for future proofing, you're going to need the Juggernaut Maximum in this case for future proofing. So go ahead and tuck those away, put them in storage, and wait for the next the set. And trust me, you'll have plenty to play in between now and whenever that next Spike Brothers thing happens. This one's a short one, guys. There's not much left to expand on with Spike Brothers at the moment.
Yeah, because they just don't have the card pool. Is the thing.
Yeah, they just don't have the card pool. Compared to our Shadows, which check that out if you haven't. Shadows discussion, which was like an hour. There's a lot more to talk about because the card pool is huge, it's diverse. They have a lot of grade 3s, they have a lot of grade 2s, they have a lot of grade 1s because it's Shadow Paladins. Keith, any last words you have on the Spike threat? Blood Ball.
Yeah. Yeah, it is very Ungabunga, if you could have heard that in the background from Matt. I'm just sad at the pull rates, I think, of this event.
That's true. Now, is the next event Grand Blue?
I think we'll cycle back again to the Grand Blue stuff, but I don't think that's going to be for a little while. There's a Neo Nectar event as well, from what I understand.
Oh, okay.
So I think that comes before, but I'm not quite positive because it's getting into like the Japan release territory.
Right. I guess we'll get to know because I think they have to do something because usually they have at least an event to hold us over once the next season starts. Because it's like near the season end is when we get the double crafting and all that kind of stuff. And the next season will start and we'll have an event to go with it.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't know. I think that one then will be our little plenty boys, Plant Paladins.
Plant Paladins. Exciting news. Another quick video we can make. Until then, let us know in the comments. We're liking the comments. It seems like you guys are really taking to this, and we appreciate them as always. Let us know in the comments what clan you want us to cover next that is coming up in the short term. I don't want to talk about golds just yet. I want us to flesh out what we have available to us and the stuff that are impending in June. I don't want to touch July or August stuff yet. So let us know what clan you want us to talk about next. We still haven't talked about OTT. We still haven't talked about
Dark Irregulars,
Dimension Police, Belmoon. What do you guys want to hear about next? Let us know in the comments below. Until then, this is, of course, the Irish God, Keith, and the Captain, signing off. Peace.